Hello everyone. So as mentioned, I'll be trying in very limited time to describe our initiative about Green Brain Capital, which is, I consider, building on the brain capital. However, it is focusing on the relation between environment and brain, and I like to call it a bidirectional relation between environment and the brain. Because it's not only the impact of environment on the brain, but also the reaction of brain gaining some skills that can affect or impact our environment. And to be honest, the Green Brain Capital initiative was published in a couple of months through an international consortium led by Harris. And we started to think about refining and validating the model. And we were lucky enough to get funding and support from the American University in Cairo through the Climate Challenge Fund. I applied, Harris, myself, Frederic, and Reem, and we got the funding, and we are now starting the active project to refine the model and maybe validate, add, or modify. And I couldn't find someone better than Omnia, which is my brilliant PhD student. Although we are 4 PIs, however, Omnia is I could consider her the active dynamo beyond the activities and the planning for the project. So I thought she will be in much better position to describe the activities and the plans for the coming years, and also the milestones, and also will be open to any of your suggestions and comments. So without due delay, Omnia, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Mohamed, for this nice introduction. Good day, everyone. I hope you can hear me clearly. Oh, thank you. I am Omnia Abderrahim. I'm a PhD candidate in the Global Health and Human Ecology in the American University in Cairo. Also, I work as a country ambassador in research solutions in Elsevier. We mainly work to enhance the research skills and the research capabilities of the young researchers here in Egypt and also in Africa. And I was lucky enough to be assigned to this project from my advisor, Dr. Mohamed. And as you all mentioned in the keynotes and the panel discussion, and the previous speakers mentioned that building the brain capital is fundamental to meeting the modern challenges and needs innovative solutions. And one of the complex challenges is the sustainability challenges. As recognized by the United Nations, sustainability issues are a complex set of factors, and it's interconnected, whether it's environmental factors, societal, institutional, economic, and even historical factors. So far, the current strategies that are used to address these challenges have been slow and actually inadequate in promoting environmentally sound and science-based green sustainability approaches. So the failure, or this is in part due to failure to account for the individual and collective human psychology, especially through the understanding the drivers and the motivation behind the human behavior. So to tackle this complex issue, we need innovative thinking, we need mass human behavior change, and a transdisciplinary approach focusing on the linkage between the brain health and the environment is a must. And here comes the role of the Green Brain Capital, which is a sustainability-focused type of the brain capital. And the concept places a central emphasis on the brain and how it can deliver a healthy and sustainable environment, and also vice versa on the green environment and how it can promote and safeguard the brain health. So the environmental determinant of health, of brain health, will be foundational to this model. And we have here in the slide, I don't know if the slide can show right now, the main drivers or the main pillars or component of the brain capital model. We have the green skills, which can be defined as the knowledge and abilities to values, even attitudes to be able to transition to green economy. We have the creativity infrastructure, which when we connect the creativity infrastructure development with the brain capital, we will be able to overcome the existing challenges and achieve sustainable ecosystem. We have also ecological intelligence, which is the ability to understand the environment, the natural environment, and the impact of human in this environment. And one of the key pillars here in the Green Brain Capital is the digital literacy. And it was defined by the UNESCO and the ILO that the digital literacy lays out about 5 competencies or 5 digital competence area. It includes information and data literacy, communication and collaboration, digital content and creation, safety, and problem solving. But I would like to highlight the first competence, which is the digital literacy and information literacy, because information literacy enables people to be able to evaluate the information and protect them against misinformation and disinformation. And we know that these type of misinformation, disinformation are known to be to plague the climate debate. And an emerging field that will explore the intersection of brain health and misinformation, we found that some of the determinant factors that affect the misinformation susceptibility and resilience are all related to the brain health. We have despair, which was the underlying factor in misinformation crisis in the United States. Depression, which caused the bias towards negativity, and this helped to increase the misinformation, the spreading of misinformation. And finally, cognitive aging, which is one of the determinant factors of misinformation susceptibility and resilience. And one of the final pillars in the Green Capital model is the adaptability, which is the capacity to adjust one's thoughts, behaviors, and the strategy in response to the changing circumstances. And this skill is critical in the context of the Green Brain Capital model. A transformation across various levels will take place, ranging from individuals to entire societies, are necessary to foster sustainability. Also, these are the factors or the components or the pillars that empower the Green Brain Capital. There are also some factors that deteriorate, or we may say that it limits the development of Green Brain Capital. We have the overconsumption of natural capital, climate anxiety and nostalgia, the triple toxicity of the tropics, which include the biological toxicity, psychological toxicity, and ecological toxicity as well. And we have natural and human-made contribution to climate change. Also, one factor that might limit the development of the Green Brain Capital is the effect of environmental toxin on our brain. And that leads to the emergence of a new discipline, which is the exoposome, or it becomes of growing concern. The exoposome means that we measure all the exposure of an individual in a lifetime and how those exposure relates to the health. And there are some initiatives that measure the exoposome when it comes to certain disease. And we actually have one here in the American University in Cairo, led by Dr. Mohamed, to measure the exoposome in case of neurodegenerative diseases. But also we need, for the case of, to exceed the mere of absence of disease, we need to consider the reference exoposome. This will give us a better appreciation of this dimension and help to assess the contribution of the environment to the brain health. By saying that, this is the concept of the Green Brain Capital, but what can't be measured can't be improved. So the next step is to be able to measure and assess the Green Brain Capital. And that's where we are going. The project are we use the fund from the American University in Cairo to be able to develop the Green Brain Capital through a Delphi process. And we started already working on this model since last August, once we received the fund. An extensive research will be done to identify indicators and dimensions for each of the previously mentioned pillar. And these indicators and these pillars will be validated through the three-round Delphi study that it will be conducted on a global level to identify the current situation and to set the future goal, and also to locate the gap that separates us from the final objectives. The experts, or the panel of experts that are going to perform this Delphi questionnaire will be representative. Will reflect the diversity of the Green Brain Capital, and also will be geographically represented. The panel will be selected, or are selected, based on their experience and expertise in the field of neuroscience, environmental science, public health, psychology, and other relevant fields, so that we can make sure that when reach a consensus, it will be multidisciplinary reflected and also geographically represented. After reaching a consensus through the Delphi process, we will proceed with developing the quantitative dashboard, which is going to be an open knowledge source for the model. And we will follow the same approach for the brain capital model and the infrastructure as the EMEA, the Euro-Mediterranean TRIS dashboard. And the main function of the dashboard will be monitor the green brain capital concept using the pillar and the indicators defined through the Delphi process. And it will be used to guide policy intervention and measure the progress of the green brain capital model. And then we will go after the quantitative dashboard by starting to informing policy and making the interventions based on the outcomes of our research and quantitative model. That's it from my side, and I would like to take a moment to acknowledge and express my gratitude for the co-principal investigator, Reem, Harris, and Frederic, for their invaluable insights and shaping our research. And I look forward to continue our productive partnership as we move forward with our research objectives. And thank you all for being a wonderful audience. And that's it from my side. Thank you.